X-Men Apocalypse. First of all, I have an announcement to make. From now on, my reviews will be spoiler-free. Ha! I like beating you upside the head with that one. No. From now on, my reviews will be spoiler-free, but in the English language. Minus the accent, unfortunately, but I'll try my best not to sound like Dracula. After all, my name is Vlad, which is dangerously close to blood, so children of the night. Okay, enough fooling around. The new installment in the franchise is directed by the X-Men king, Bryan Singer, who also directed the first two X-Men movies, which were very good in my opinion, as well as the 2014 film Days of Future Past, which reinvented, almost rebooted the franchise in a way. He also directed The Usual Suspects, Valkyrie with Tom Cruise, Superman Returns... Nah, at least that one didn't have a fucking retarded Lex Luthor. Sorry, I get sidetracked easily. There's too much ground I feel the need to cover and so little time. Okay, it stars the James McAvoy Professor X. Right, Deadpool? I like my new upgrade. With all the young, new X-Men, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Nicholas Hoult, as well as newcomers Sophie Sansa Turner and Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse. They all did a magnificent job, top-notch, great performances all around. But is the movie better than Days of Future Past? Well, it's certainly different. It has the first X-Men movie's vibe, with the whole gang back together, technically speaking, because in this timeline it's actually their first real mission. It has somewhat of a slow start with lots of exposition, but they also kind of needed that in order for us to better understand in which point in time is the action taking place, as well as what have our heroes been up to since we last saw them. I have to admit, there's a scene in a forest, no spoilers, don't worry, but you already knew that, involving Magneto, which felt so forced. I mean, I understand the reason they did that, and it had somewhat of an emotional impact, but I don't know, it felt like they couldn't think of a better way to do it, so they unwillingly hit like a dark comedy string with that scene. At least that's how it seemed to me. It almost made me laugh because of how forced it felt. The rest of the movie contains a few dramatic, emotional impact moments that were handled fairly well. I love it when a movie cuts back to a moment from the character's past, a quiet scene with an emotional speech of some kind, or with all this sound cut out that serves as a reminder or as a motivational push in the present. In my opinion, they could have done a lot more with these moments so that they would have had a bigger impact in the end, you know? Also, there are a lot of not plot twists, but let's call them the big character moments to shine. Long name, whatever. Maybe if they just had one or two, the flow would have been a lot smoother and that impact I keep talking about a lot bigger. Especially when you have the range that these actors possess. I know, it sounds like I spent a long time talking about negatives, but I really enjoyed this movie. There's a lot of action, with good direction, with a fair amount of wide shots, and a lot more blood than in the previous movies. The Final Destination movies actually popped in my mind in the first act. The CGI is good, very good special effects, but I think they overlooked the scene involving Angel, whatever. For those of you who saw Days of Future Past, I have good news. The Quicksilver scene in this movie might actually be better than the first one. I'm not even kidding. It's awesome as fuck! Pardon my French. But I can finally swear as much as I want because English is not my native tongue, so I don't care. And also, when I did my reviews in Romanian, I have a lot of family members and friends of my parents and stuff watching, and if there are any foreigners watching now, believe me, the curses sound way better in English. I mean, you have no idea what Romanians are capable of when it comes to swearing. Like, if I translated word for word, you would think we're freaking savages. Now, if you haven't seen the final trailer, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a cool cameo you'll be looking forward to, trust me. And also, stay put for the after credits scene. Yeah, you Marvel noobs, I'm talking to you. In conclusion, it's an action-packed, moderately dark and emotional X-Men film with great performances and good humor, in particular almost every Quicksilver scene, good direction and a good storyline, although it could have been even better. The same goes for the editing of this movie, with a few longer takes and a tweak here and there. That being said, it deserves an 8 out of 10 rating, maybe 8 plus in my opinion. So, tell me your thoughts on the movie, and if you agree with me, hit that like and subscribe button, and maybe, just maybe, I'll tell you some of the Romanian curse words or expressions in the upcoming movie reviews. Thanks for watching, and make fun of my accent, please. I deserve it. Buh, buh.